Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, vampires versus werewolves, aliens versus Predator. These are some of the greatest matchups that the known universe has ever seen. Hell, in the 90s, we even had the giants of the DC universe and the greatest heroes in the Marvel universe. But there's one thing that we have yet to see, and that is the undead of the Marvel universe versus those from DC's DCeased story. Imagine the clash of two universes of superpowered zombies going at each other. The death toll alone would be catastrophic. If Tom Taylor were writing it, probably incredibly gory. Now, we've taken a look at what might happen if various heroes from both universes decided to actually fight. Hell, this is one of the few times when the arguments on the internet could actually turn out to be fun. Arguing about heroes fighting each other is a time-honored tradition of comic book fans that has been passed down from generation to generation. However, we here at Comicstorian have never argued whether one universe's zombies were way better than the other. Well, today that changes. Let's get it on! First up, we're looking at the Marvel Zombies. Introduced in 2005, Marvel Zombies was written by Robert Kirkman, who is kind of the grand poobah of comic book zombies at this point. However, the concept first appeared in the Ultimate Fantastic Four, when Reed is tricked by his zombie self into journeying into a universe where the zombies have won, but run out of food. People being the food for those not fully aware of the zombie concept. Taking place on Earth 2149, the world sees the century brought to Earth by the hunger. The heroes of Earth quickly fall to the virus and they begin to work their way through the people of Earth. In terms of the virus, Marvel's Zombies does not stray far from the usual zombie formula. The infection is spread via blood, which means bite or scratch. The Marvel Zombies do retain their superpowers as well as a level of intelligence. I say a level of intelligence because they seem to be a little stupider if you go off just dialogue from the first comic book series. In the original series, the zombies have pretty much infected the entire Earth. That's when the Silver Surfer and Galactus eventually show up, and the zombie heroes defeat and eat Galactus, gaining his power, and heading out into the stars to find a new food source. Woe to any alien planets that get in their way. Oh, but the Marvel Zombies do not stop there. We, in the end, got a total of 7 books within the main Marvel Zombies universe, as well as several miniseries that deal with alternate realities from the zombie universe where they just kind of went crazy with the idea. These include the zombification of the Supreme Universe, the zombies crossing over into Marvel Apes, Howard the Duck leading Dum Dum Dugan in Ducky's Dozen against the zombie Nazis in an alternate World War II, and Ash from the Army of Darkness fighting against the Marvel Zombies. With all of this, Marvel even went ahead and rebooted the Marvel Zombies idea twice, both within about a year of each other. Also, zombie Deadpool's head ended up in the main 616 universe for a little while. Now, DCeased hasn't been around that long. The series first appeared in May of 2019 and ran until October. Written by everyone's favorite superhero murder machine, Tom Taylor, the DCeased universe looks at what would happen if the world was taken over by the anti-life equation if it mutated to create zombie-like creatures. After Cyborg is kidnapped by Darkseid, his techno-organic body is combined with the anti-life equation to create something new. The first victim is Darkseid, who actually destroys the planet of Apocalypse. Cyborg is then brought back to Earth where the new anti-life virus makes the jump to the internet. Everyone who looks at a digital screen, which is most of Earth at any given time, is immediately infected. The world quickly falls to the blighted ones, with the remaining heroes trying their hardest to protect the survivors. As is the case with anything Tom Taylor writes, no heroes are safe from death and destruction in this universe. Eventually, the remaining survivors are forced to flee Earth where they find a second home, or Earth 2. The series was a huge success, and DC quickly put out a one-shot involving Booster Gold and Blue Beetle trying to use time travel to fix things, as well as a mini-series focusing on a group of unkillable anti-heroes and villains trying to protect a group of kids during the main storyline. A sequel, titled DCeased Dead Planet, is set to debut in June of 2020. This new series will see some of the survivors returning to the dead Earth after hearing a distress call. Now, technically, the zombies of DCeased aren't actually zombies, which is noted by Cyborg within the main series itself. They are those that are infected with the anti-life equation, and they don't hunger for flesh or brains or anything like that. They merely crave to extinguish all life itself, so better? Maybe? However, like Green Arrow states, it looks and acts like a zombie, so it's a zombie. The virus itself can be transferred via a bite or scratch, as well as the jump from digital media due to the virus mutating from cyborg's techno-organic nature. Those infected by the virus, both superhero and regular human, do not seem to maintain any level of their previous intelligence. Instead, they become a mindless creature bent on wiping out whatever life force they can sense. This is especially bad when the superpowered beings have been infected, because now you just have a mindless blighted one with the power of, say, an atomic bomb. However, it's revealed, and this is heavy spoilers for those who have not read the story, you have been warned, by a blighted Wonder Woman, that the anti-life equation itself does have an intelligence and a sort of hive mind. Honestly, I don't know which universe would be worse to be put in. But that's not the point of today's discussion. The point is, which universe would win in a straight-up fight, zombie versus zombie. For the purpose of this fight, we'll be using the basic Marvel zombies, not when they gained the power of Galactus. It's possible that in the sequel to DCeased, we'll have Omega Power zombies, in which case we're going to have to revisit this. Also, we're gonna have to take the DCeased zombies as they are. It's very difficult to keep track of what heroes were dead at which point. So let's just say all the superheroes are zombied and still kicking. If you really think about it, pitting a group of zombies that retain their superpowers against a group of zombies that retain their superpowers isn't any different than if they were alive. The only difference would really be this. The DCeased zombies are little more than wild animals with superpowers. Nothing could stand against an undead Superman who isn't holding back anymore. Anyway, let's get to our little make-believe fanfiction story. The Earth has been desolated by the anti-life equation. The remaining heroes have gathered in the Fortress of Solitude, hoping to discover a way to cure those who have become infected or possibly leave Earth. However, a small group of heroes believe that they can open up a rift into another dimension, allowing the survivors of their Earth to escape. Using technology, they create a portal. Yet the world they're looking into looks much the same as the one they're trying to escape. A red, white, and blue shield flies through the portal, knocking the heroes aside, and then through it steps Captain America, Spider-Man, Thor, Wolverine, the Hulk, and Iron Man, and they hunger. So they set out into the world. Using their powers and intelligence, it's not difficult to find the survivors of the DCeased universe, just like they found the survivors of their own. Yet, the mindless creatures of this world continue to attack them. They can sense them somehow. The Marvel zombies don't know if it's because of their continued intelligence or not, or they simply don't care. They spring upon the blighted ones, using their powers to destroy them. They don't taste very good, but they seem to sustain them, much more than the zombies of their world. Spider-Man looks at himself in the window of the destroyed building and once again begins to lament of what they've become, even as he takes another bite out of a blighted human. Suddenly, that mirror begins to warp and Mirror Master reaches through, his claws swiping at the web slinger. Spidey leaps away fast. The Marvel zombies look around, and they were wrong. There were heroes in this world, and they too have become blighted. Iron Man leaps into the air, suddenly attacked by a zombified Batman. Yet this isn't the world's greatest detective, it's merely a mindless beast that wishes to extinguish life. Even though he's undead, Iron Man uses his repulsor beams to destroy the insane creature dressed as a bat. Captain America holds his own, but he too is quickly overwhelmed. The Hulk continues to smash all around him, eventually met by another creature known as Solomon Grundy. But even this behemoth cannot stand up against his undead might. Zombie Thor is locked in an endless battle with Wonder Woman, whose strength makes her more than a match for the undead god of thunder. For a time, it looks as if the Marvel zombies will come out on top, with another world for them to devour. But then it happens. A being of immense power slams into the earth, shattering the city around them, throwing everyone away. Standing in that crater is the zombie Man of Steel, his body covered in blood, his eyes wild with the anti-life equation. He launches himself at the Marvel zombies, cutting through their rotting bodies quickly. And in the aftermath, the Hulk stands alone, his strength allowing him to hammer away on the Man of Steel. Yet the Blighted One is not as mindless as they first seem. The anti-life equation can see that this creature could defeat it, could wipe it from the face of the planet. And in that moment, it makes a choice. It grabs the Hulk and launches them both into the sky. Quickly flying into space, the Blighted Superman hurls the last Marvel zombie into the sun. At least that's how we see it happening. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below your opinions on that situation. Do you think the Marvel Zombies would have won? Do you think DCeased would have won? Now, as usual, I did go ahead and tweet out the question along with asking it on our YouTube stories, and here's some of your responses because our debate here in the office is just us. We need to know what you guys think. Now, if you want to follow the discussion, check us out on Twitter at Comicstorian, or just hit that YouTube stories button because I'm in there as well. Now, at BeardedBatman23, here's the thing. The Marvel Zombies seem to retain more of their heroes' personalities, and I think that they would be able to outmaneuver the DCeased zombies despite DCeased having more powerful zombies. So actually, I give it to Marvel Zombies. What do you reckon, Benny? Well, as usual, that was the video. At REKCBCQ, Amalgam Zombies. Must have merged the two of them. That would be an interesting universe. At Alba_John, Marvel Zombies because they have the power cosmic. You are correct. But we went ahead and assumed that they wouldn't for the sake of our battle for obvious reasons. I explained that earlier. At The One Hoyle, DCeased. Marvel Zombies was gory and wanted to paint a what if. DCeased painted how these characters would act with the death of their world and with all of the heartbreak that it entails. Seeing Alfred cry over Bruce and Superman's death was amazing. But to follow that up, somebody went ahead and asked him for me at Cell_KL, but the argument was which zombies would win in the fight, not which story did you enjoy more. And then he followed it up by stating, I thought it was which story is better. Still DCeased. Flash, Superman, and Wonder Woman zombies would beat up all of Marvel's zombified heroes. And then, of course, we have at Rand0M308. This is just Marvel versus DC at that point, which I also agree with. But let us know in the comments down below which verses you want us to ask you guys about and go into on our channel next time. And we will see you right here at the Comicstorian channel. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys next time right here.